Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about the upcoming Sephora Fall Beauty Insider event. We're going to talk about some kind of luxury and high-end things that cost a little bit and you maybe normally wouldn't buy unless they were 20% off. We're also going to talk about some stuff that you might want to pass on during the sale as well. So if that's something you guys are interested in watching, then you're in the right place. We're about to get into it.
I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf.
I know, it seems like we just had a Sephora Beauty Insider event, and we did, but the event that we just had was an extra event that Sephora stuck into the year just as a surprise event for us. This event is the one that's typically scheduled around this time every year. So this is actually the Holiday Insider event, and just like all of the rest of the Beauty Insider events, it comes with a discount depending on your level in the VIB rewards system that Sephora has set up. The online code is Rouge Bonus for those of you that haven't gotten the online code yet, and you will probably, if you're a VIB Rouge, get your in-store 20% off. Not that this has to be presented that weekend. I'm sure if you just give them your information and they can pull up your Rouge account, you don't necessarily need to have this little 20% off coupon. But that is our first weekend, and that is again for VIB Rouge access only, the 26th through the 29th of October. Now, November 2nd through November the 5th, that weekend, actual VIB members will actually get a 20% off as well. Rouge members can also use their 20% off on the second weekend, which is the 2nd through the 5th. VIB Rouge members can also shop during that time. So during the November 2nd through November 5th, VIB and VIB Rouge members get a 20% discount. November 2nd through November 5th, if you are just a Beauty Insider, you will still receive a 15% off discount on that weekend. So the only weekend that's exclusive for VIB Rouge access only is the 26th through the 29th, and then November 2nd through November the 5th is for everybody, with insiders getting 15% and VIB and higher getting 20%. Now, the codes for VIB and the 15% off for Beauty Insiders have yet to be determined. I haven't been able to find them out there yet. I'm sure they'll either be announced or just by pulling up your insider status in store or online, you'll get the code or whatever, but I'm sure it'll be announced between now and November the 2nd. Now, if you are a VIB Rouge on October the 26th, you actually can bring a friend with you. That doesn't necessarily have to be a Beauty Insider, and your guest can also enjoy the 20% discount. So all of you out there that are VIB Rouges, if you have friends that haven't spent $1,000 in a calendar year in order to get the VIB Rouge status, then grab a friend, bring them with you that first weekend, and let them enjoy your discount in store. You are allowed to do that. I think you do have one guest pass only, and it's only for the weekend of October the 26th. And if I'm not mistaken, they're also giving out sample sets in the store as well, little sample sets that have all these little different things on here. Just for VIB Rouges that first weekend. So the first weekend, if you go in store, they'll probably actually have quite a lot for you to experience in store the first weekend of the sale, which is always exciting. Alright, so let's get into the goodies. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is typically when you have a sale like this, you want to go for the products that you normally wouldn't get because they're too expensive. Those are the type of products that you really kind of want to stock up for during this particular sale. Another thing that I like to stock up on is just things that I'm like running out on, so like shampoo, that kind of stuff. If I buy it at Sephora, it's a good time to save save on that kind of stuff as well. So we're going to touch on a little bit of everything in this particular video, with some things that have recently come out that I wouldn't necessarily recommend, and some things that I would definitely recommend. So the first thing that I would recommend to you guys is to take a look at any of the gadgets that it is that you're interested in. You can save a lot of money when it comes to skincare gadgets because some of them can be quite expensive. One of my favorite gadgets is the Foreo. This is a cleansing gadget that you actually use to scrub your face with, and Foreos are one of my favorite beauty gadgets because this is all antimicrobial, antibacterial, silicone. You don't have to pay for heads like a Clarisonic. You would typically have to pop on and off the heads, and you have to continue to buy the heads, whereas this is just a one-time purchase and you're good to go. It has a different type of silicone on the back for a deeper clean, and then this for just your everyday clean. I love the shape of it because it gets into all of my crevices, and it does a really, really good job of cleansing the skin. So if you're thinking about getting a Foreo, now would be a great time to make that purchase. Also, if you're thinking about any really luxury high-end tech items, now would be the time to do it. Something like a NuFace. This is supposed to be a 5-minute facelift tech gadget, and it is actually quite fascinating. So what the NuFace does is it actually stimulates your facial muscles. So if you think about it, you work out, you do that to tone up your muscles all over your body, but you never really have an opportunity to really work out the muscles on your face. And you can work them out, for lack of a better word. You can put your face through a workout by really gently stimulating your muscles electronically, and you can do it in as little as 5 minutes a day, and you just do this on your face with it. It comes with a whole program of how to work it on the face. It comes with different attachments for under the eyes, on the lips, and it really does tighten and firm and tone the skin. It also really, really helps when it comes to diminishing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, because as the muscles on your face get more toned, they tend to get more tighter, and that tightens everything up a little bit, and it really does help when it comes to crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles, that kind of stuff. However, this is not a cheap gadget, so if you've ever thought about making an investment in an item like this, now would be a great time to do it. And the NuFace is absolutely Erika approved. I love this thing, and me and my sister both have one, and we love it. Other things that can be quite expensive are fragrances. So if you have a favorite fragrance, and typically you don't like to buy it because it's always just a little bit more than you want to spend, during the sale is a great time to stock up on your favorite fragrance. Mine is Mon Guerlain by Guerlain, and I love this fragrance. I am not a very like candy sweet smell person or overly flowery smell person. I like fragrances that have undernotes of like amber and sandalwood, and I like fragrances that are a little more lighter and not quite so heavy. And this is a beautiful fragrance, and I get asked all the time when I have this on what it is that you're wearing. It has a beautiful tail, which is like the smell that, you know, when you walk in and you walk by someone and then you can still smell it. That's what this does, and it's not overpowering by any means. It's very subtle, it's very understated, it's absolutely beautiful. If you guys have never smelled Mon Guerlain, check it out the next time you're in Sephora. It is amazing. But don't forget your fragrances during the VIB sale. This is a great way to save money. I'll say it once, I'll say it again, don't forget your brushes. If you want a really good brush, or you've been eyeing a really good brush, I love this Tom Ford brush. It's the 05, it's his bronzer brush. It's ridiculously priced, but it's absolutely amazing, and you can save a lot of money on a really good brush. So if you've been eyeing that special brush, or you just have one that you really, really like, now's the time to pick it up, so don't forget your brushes. Sephora's Pro line of brushes are absolutely incredible, you guys. This is a beautiful flat highlighting brush from the Sephora Pro line. This is more of a contouring brush through the Sephora Pro line. This is one of my favorite blush brushes. This is a Sephora Pro line. Some of their eye brushes are absolutely beautiful. I 100% love the Sephora Pro line. They're all actually Erika approved. So if you've never tried out any of the brushes from the Sephora Pro line, they have a really long handle on all of them, which I really, really love. They're very well made, very well crafted brushes. They're face brushes and they're eye brushes. So again, if you're eyeing brushes, this is a great time to get them. Also, can't forget your skincare. Skincare is really expensive nowadays. Your masks, your sheet masks, any kind of facial treatment, all of those things can actually cost us a pretty penny. So if you have something that you want to supplement in your facial routine, now's a good time to stock up on it. I have a routine coming up for you guys that includes my entire morning routine. So I'm not going to go through any of those skincare products because I have those in an upcoming video, but I will go over two of my favorite masks right now. One is from Charlotte Tilbury, which has just recently joined the Sephora family, and this is the Goddess Skin Clay Mask. You guys, if you've never tried this clay mask, if you put this on right before you apply makeup, you will notice such a big difference. This is an amazing mask to put on to prep your skin for makeup. You will have one of the best makeup days ever. I love this mask. Another mask that I really, really like is by Sand and Sky, and this is their Australian Pink Clay Pore Refining Face Mask. So if you deal with large pores, this is a great face mask just to kind of refine those pores, get them really good and cleaned out, shrink them down a little bit, and it also has some stuff in here that's great for brightening as well. I love this mask. I use this about twice a week. It's really good to detoxify the skin, and again, it has a lot of good ingredients in here to help fight hyperpigmentation and any darkness that you have on the skin, so it's really good for brightening. So if you've never tried out the Australian Pink Clay Mask from Sand and Sky, I absolutely recommend this. This is absolutely Erika approved. So don't forget your skincare. Now during this sale, you guys can actually get a hold of a lot of sets. So there's a lot of holiday sets out right now, especially in the Bath and Body area. One of my favorite Bath and Body lines from Sephora is the Sol de Janeiro line, and they have a holiday kit now that you can get that has the Brazilian Bum Bum Cream. It's actually pronounced Boom Boom according to them, but it's spelled Bum Bum, and I've always just thought of it as the Bum Bum Cream. But you get a big jar of the Bum Bum Cream. You have the body, it's like a body spray that smells just like the Bum Bum Cream, and then you have this Copacabana Bronze Glow Oil. This is especially during the winter. If you just want a nice kind of bronzy, shimmery, sun-kissed look to the skin, this is amazing for that. It gives your skin such a beautiful look, especially when you want to just warm it up a little bit. If you have maybe a strapless dress to wear during the holidays and you just want that really healthy, beautiful kind of bronzy glow, this is amazing for that, and it smells heavenly. And then of course they have the Brazilian Foreplay, which is their shower gel, one of my favorite shower gels. It smells like the rest of the line. It smells absolutely amazing, and it makes your skin feel so incredibly soft. And all of this comes in a set. There's a lot of Bath and Body sets, hair care sets, makeup sets, all of those holiday kind of sets are out. So don't forget about looking at sets, because you can save a lot of money. If you notice that you like a certain line or a certain brand, then go and look at the kiosks in the store, or type in that certain brand online and then type in holiday set and see if you can get them in a bundle or a holiday set, because they have a lot of those going on right now because it's the holidays. So don't forget to check out the sets. Now, there is a new brand that has recently joined Sephora, and that is Charlotte Tilbury. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Charlotte Tilbury and some of the things that you might want to explore in her line during this sale. She is new to Sephora, so I did want to spend some time just talking about some of her products because they are a little bit high-end. So now would be a good time to invest in her products if it's something that you're interested in doing. The first two things I would recommend are her wands. One is a highlighting wand, and and one is a contouring wand. Now, let's talk about this contouring wand first. Now, the reason that she calls these wands is because they have a little spongy tip on the end. So they're meant to use like you would a wand. Now, this you would use on the face to contour. So you could just put like 3 dots of the contour like right here on the face. And then you just blend it out. And you guys, this contour, and it's a cream contour, the tone of this is absolutely stunning, and I don't think you guys are going to be able to probably see it from here. Oh yeah, you can, but it is just this beautiful tone that is so complimentary to the skin, and it's not shiny. It's got like a little bit of a glow to it, but for the most part it's matte. One of my favorite places to use this is right here to contour my nose. This is one of my favorite nose contour products because it blends out so easily. This makes contouring a breeze. I literally do like 3 dots here, I do a couple up here, I do some along my jawline, and then I just do 2 little lines right here, and then I do it across my nose, and I put one right in the center of my Cupid's bow, and that's it. And then I just take a brush and I just go in and just rub it into the skin. It is a beautiful product. The next wand is her highlighting wand, and this is just a very natural, same concept, sponge on the tip. It's just a natural, beautiful highlight, and it's like putting a spotlight on whatever area of the face that you want to put a spotlight on. And that's it. If you just like put the dots here, and then if you want to just blend it into the skin, it's just this beautiful shimmer that really just looks like sunlight on the skin. Wherever you put it, it highlights that area, and it's absolutely stunning. So both of these I think aren't talked about enough, and they're absolutely amazing products. So check these 2 out. Another thing that Charlotte is famous for is her lip formulas, and I will say they are everything. This is very Victoria, which is one of my favorite colors of hers. It's this really kind of I want to say just like a really mauve-y color, but it's really stunning. Look how beautiful that color is. It's so pretty. And then she has a gloss that goes with it that you just put over top of this that just makes it, I'll actually put the gloss on here, and it just complements that lipstick shade beautifully. Her glosses are really well known for being very wearable and not being sticky. So obviously Charlotte as an artist works a lot in the industry, and she can't have people that she's putting makeup on hair sticking to their gloss. So it's a very beautiful gloss, and it makes the lips glisten, but it's not overly sticky where it's like sucking everything to it and just creating a disaster. It's a beautiful formulation. So check out her lip products. They're totally worth it. For those of you that have never tried Charlotte's blush, I actually have it on my cheeks tonight. This is her Swish and Pop blusher, and this is First Love. So this is the Cheek to Chic line, and she calls this the Swish Pop line because it has a beautiful color on the perimeter, and then it has another color in the center. So ideally you just swirl it and pop it, and then you just push it on the face like this, and it just makes a beautiful look on the skin. And this is one of my favorite blushes. It's just really understated, but it's a beautiful wash of color on the face, so her blushes are amazing as well. Another thing by Charlotte that I really like, and if you're one of those girls that just wants to glow to the gods, she has a highlighter set that's absolutely ridiculous when it comes to highlighting, and that's her Bar of Gold palette. And basically it is just that. It is bars of her highlighter in one palette. Now when I say that this highlighter is insane, this highlighter is, it's like the craziest highlighter that you will ever see on skin. It is so shiny and so stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this for body highlight, so collarbone highlight, shoulder highlight, anything that I really want to just dust across beautiful kind of a sunlit look. This is absolutely stunning. If you guys have never stuck your finger in this, next time you go to Sephora, swatch this bad boy. It is amazing. And then last but not least is something that I thought was actually going to be a pass from Charlotte Tilbury, but I actually really like it, and that's the new palette that she's recently come out with. I actually really like this palette. This is her Stars in Your Eyes palette. I'll give you guys a close-up of it here. So basically what you have here are 4 different looks that Charlotte says inspires love, power, happiness, and confidence. So you'll see 4 individual looks. Number 1 in the look will be to prime, number 2 will be to enhance, and the third one will be to smoke. So basically the way that she has set this palette up is she's done it in 4 groups of 3. So you have one here, 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 and then here. And she says that the first one is to prime the eye, the second one is to enhance, and then the third one is to smoke, or your outer V. So that's how she has set this palette up. So I think it's incredibly user-friendly. It also has a nice matte to shimmer ratio. So there are some mattes in here, which Charlotte likes shimmer. So I've avoided a lot of her palettes in the past. But I really like the color layout of this one. I really like this setup. And I do like the matte to shimmer ratio in this. And I feel like this is a very beginner-friendly palette. If you've never experimented with any of Charlotte's eyeshadow products, sometimes looking at an all shimmer palette or a mostly shimmer palette can be a little intimidating. So this would be a great palette to start out with Charlotte. Not only that, but it's absolutely stunning from a packaging perspective. I don't think it's really showing up on here, but there's like gold glitter throughout this entire thing. It's just absolutely beautiful. But the formula of the shadows themselves are absolutely stunning. So if you guys haven't checked out this palette, definitely do. It's Erika approved. And I think that's it from Charlotte. So if you guys have never explored the Charlotte Tilbury line, I would encourage you to do that at this time at Sephora. It's the first time she's been included during a VIB Rouge sale, and I think the brand definitely deserves some love, and she's got some great products in this line. So yeah, definitely check her out. So quickly, I want to talk about some Marc Jacobs. If you guys haven't ever checked out the bronzer from Marc Jacobs or the highlighter from Marc Jacobs, these are both pretty pricey items, but they're absolutely Erika approved, and the sale would be a great time to check them out. The highlighter is amazing. You guys have heard me talk about this highlighter before. It's just stunning, but you can build it, so you can put it on and it can really sheer out, or you can build it up to a really, really intense highlighter. So I love this. And then of course the Tantastic is a cult favorite bronzer. If you've ever wanted to try it, now would be a great time to try it. Both of these are Erika approved. Definitely check them out. Now, Marc Jacobs has recently come out with an eyeshadow formula that, you guys, is freaking unbelievable. Now they come in, so first of all, these are part of the Omega line. So this is the Omega bronzer in Tantastic. This is the Omega Glaze. That's what the highlighter is called. And this is the Omega Shadow. So this is part of the Omega line. And the Omega line is like, everything is oversized. That's why everything is so huge in the Omega line. And this isn't any different. These are eyeshadows that come in these giant eyeshadow pans. So they're not these little teeny tiny eyeshadow pans. They're actually quite large. Now these are what they call gel powder eyeshadows. Next time you guys are in Sephora, just stick your finger in these particular eyeshadows. These are the softest, most blendable eyeshadows that I have felt in a long time. These are amazing and definitely worth checking out. So if you guys haven't checked out stuff from the Omega line from Marc Jacobs, definitely a recommend from me. Check them out during the sale. Speaking of highlights, something that I can't just blow by. If you guys haven't tried the Dior, the Backstage highlighting palette, this is one of the best highlighting palettes that I've seen in a while. And Dior hasn't always been very impressive when it comes to like their eyeshadow palette from Backstage that came in this little component. I wasn't a big fan of. They have a contour palette that comes in these little components. There is a lot of different components to the Backstage collection, but this highlighting palette is absolutely everything. If you guys have never tried this highlighting palette, it is absolutely stunning. All of the shades in here are absolutely beautiful. So this is, again, it's the Dior Backstage. They just call it the Glow palette. It's the highlighting palette from the Backstage collection. If you haven't tried it out, definitely check it out. This is amazing. All right, and then last but not least, I want to talk about some palettes. Now, there are some palettes that are coming out that I am interested in. One of them doesn't launch until November the 1st. That's the Huda Beauty Nude palette. I'm interested in that one. So that's a possibility that I might pick up. Now, there are some palettes that I have here that are going to be some recommendations and maybe a pass in here as well. But we're going to go over them. So if you guys haven't picked up the Narcissus, the Most Wanted palette by NARS, this is a staple palette. The formula in this palette is actually quite amazing. I'm going to give you a close-up of it here so that you can see what it looks like close-up and so that you can see some of the swatches as well. So the thing I love about the Wanted palette is that I absolutely love the matte formula in this particular palette. Not only that, but the shimmers and the metallics that are in here are really quite stunning as well. I love the tone of this palette. I'm not a big NARS fan. I've never been a NARS fan when it comes to eyeshadow, but something about this palette really spoke to me, and I was really, really glad that I made the investment in this particular palette. It is beautiful, and because it is so small and compact, I find that I can take it with me and toss it in my purse. It's great for touch-ups because it has a light color, it has a deep color, and then of course it has these beautiful shimmers in it as well. But the Narcissus Wanted eyeshadow palette honestly was one of the most talked about palettes of the summer when it first came out, and it's been around for a hot minute, but it's not cheap. It's a $60 palette, and from what I understand, it's a limited edition, so I'm not quite sure how much longer this particular palette is going to be around. But because it is such a stunning palette and the formula is beautiful, I wanted to make sure that I included it in this video, so in case you guys ever thought about picking it up, that I could tell you that it's really worth the coin. So pick this up at the sale if it's something that you've been thinking about. Yep, we got to talk about it. So this is the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and I'll be honest with you guys, I have filmed and scrapped and filmed and scrapped a review on this palette like 50 times, and I get really frustrated with this palette. So here's the thing. So it's the typical Natasha Denona palette, right? It's her typical 15-pan setup, $130. It's, you know, the usual thing from Natasha Denona. The one thing that I hate about this palette is how incredibly repetitive it is. So you have brown, 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 gold, 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 and then you have your pops of green here. This is like a duochrome that has a little bit of a green tinge to it, and this is like a kind of a silver topper, right? So unless you're a huge fan of brown, and I mean, seriously, it's like 5 shades of brown in this palette. Where I'm torn is that there are genuinely 3 pans in here of these gold shimmers. So this one, and this one, that I love, and I have worn out that gold shimmer on my, and that's not what I have on tonight. I have on another palette tonight, and I'll show you that, but I have worn that gold like a lot. I really like the formula of those 3 pans in this palette, but other than that, you guys, I was so disappointed in this palette. I didn't realize, and it's not even really doing justice here, showing it to you guys. I didn't realize how close in tone a lot of these colors were going to be. I did not realize that they literally are only off by maybe a half a shade. Yeah, like 5 of these are off by maybe a half of a shade. That's how similar they are in tone and undertone. And it was incredibly disappointing. But if you just wanted a brown and gold palette, then this might be the thing for you. I would say pass. For me, I would say pass. I wouldn't get it during the sale. I wouldn't get it on a normal day. I just don't think it's worth $130 to get 5 of the same eyeshadow. There are a couple in here that are stunning, but it's not worth $130. It's not even worth $130 with the 20% discount. So even though you see this in the store and you might be tempted, be strong. It's not worth it. It's just not. Another one that surprisingly enough I felt that way about was this bad boy, and that's the ABH Sultry palette. Now at first I thought I was really going to be excited about this particular palette. We have a good split, a half and half of the mattes and the shimmers. I actually have it on my eyes tonight. I have a Cyborg and Cinder, the sparkle here, and then I've got Twig and Fresh up here in the crease and underneath my brow bone. So I've got it on tonight, but if you own Soft Glam, you don't need this palette. You just don't need this palette. If you own Soft Glam, just don't even bother with this palette. You have Noir in here, which is the black tone in Soft Glam. You have Noir there too. In Soft Glam, you actually have a lot of the goldy type undertone type. I don't want to say it's the same palette, but it's not different enough that you need to get like overly excited about the Sultry palette. I mean, the only difference really is kind of the gray and that pink, but you know, you have like that burgundy here and what? I don't know, maybe a little bit of more of a yellower gold. But other than that, if you've got Soft Glam, you don't need Sultry. This was another disappointment for me. I am going to say pass on this one too, guys. Not a fan. One that I was incredibly impressed by, and this is the last thing, and I'll tell you guys that if you have a chance to pick this up at the sale, definitely pick it up, and that is the Sephora Pro, the new Nudes palette. Now, I was a huge fan of the Sephora Pro, the first one that came out last year. The warm palette. This one, as you can see, this one has been quite loved. So this is the warm palette. This was the Pro palette that came out last year. I am a huge fan of this palette. It stays front and center right here on my vanity. Love that palette. And the new Nudes, which is the new Sephora Pro palette, is just as stunning. I'll give you guys a close-up of it here so you can take a look at it. Now, the thing with the new Nudes is that it has these beautiful mattes through here, but then you also have a couple of satins and like 1 or 2 metallics with a duochrome. And other than that, the rest of these are mattes, and they're beautiful mattes. They're all a different version of like a nudie type color. It is a little bit more along the corally side, whereas the warm palette was more along the rustic and the brown side. This is more along those kind of pinks and corals and purples, but it is a stunning palette. These Sephora Pro palettes have some of the best eyeshadow formulas that are in the game. I said that about the Pro Warm palette. It was one of my, I had it like right next to Viseart when it comes to quality, and the ones they put out this year are the same. They absolutely didn't disappoint. I am 100% on board with these Sephora Pro palettes. So if you guys have an opportunity to check out the new Sephora Pro palette, I would definitely recommend that you do that. That is absolutely 100% Erika approved. Alright guys, so that wraps up this edition of the Sephora VIB Beauty Insider Sale recommendations. I hope I gave you guys some good ideas. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys are planning on picking up. I always like to hear different ideas from everybody because it always gives me ideas. I can't wait for the sale. I'll make sure that I put all of the details in the description bar below. We have a contest coming up. So I have put together a little trick or treat box that has quite a bit of beauty stuff on the inside of it. We're going to be going over that giveaway in our next video, so don't forget to watch the next video that's coming out. Other than that, I think we're done, guys. I hope all of you guys are very happy. I hope you're very healthy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.